Well, hi. Welcome to another edition of Around Town, where we focus in on the people and places of the Salem community. And tonight, we're going to be visiting with the Salem Observer. There was only one staff member on the original paper, and she's still with the paper today. As a matter of fact, she does a column, and she's a reporter for the Salem Observer, and her name is Elsie Talanian. We're going to talk to her now. You were talking to me earlier, and you said that you had started day one here.
That's right. I've been here, well, the paper will be observing its 36th anniversary, and I have been here the entire time.
Excellent.
After the first issue that appeared on a newsstand in Salem Depot, and it was announced that a paper was going to start in Salem, and they were looking for someone, to work, and I applied, and Mr. Finney hired me right away, and I've been with him ever since.
Excellent. What had you done before that?
Newspaper work in Connecticut.
Oh, in Connecticut.
I was social editor on a daily paper for 18 years.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 18 plus, we won't
that's
add
okay.
it up.
I don't care who knows I'm 81. It's only a number. It
Yeah.
doesn't bother me.
What made you get into the business?
Oh, I like it. I like people. I really enjoy people, and I also sell advertising, and I have to say that I have the best advertisers that anyone would ever want to have. They are just marvelous to me.
That's great. Now, community involvement, do you involve yourself? I know you're quite busy just with the paper alone. But
it's a funny thing. When I came up here, I made a promise to myself that I would not belong to any organizations because I belong to so many of them in Connecticut that I never had a free night, along with work and everything, and I did not want to be a card member. If I belong to an organization, I want to really take part and do my part, and I find that I can't. I'll contribute to different things for certain organizations. I'd be very happy to do that, but I just don't like, and one thing I don't like is meetings.
Oh,
No, I don't like meetings of any kind.
Fall asleep in it?
No, I just don't care about meetings.
Right. Now let's talk about your column for a minute. Now you break it down sort of like, you started out with like a poem of some kind.
Well, yes, I always try to have a poem at the top of it. People send them to me, I buy some, and then I take poems, and of course if I take a poem that somebody has written, I always use their byline.
Right.
And people seem to like it, and I try to use poems along with the whatever it is, like this week will be pertaining to Valentine's Day.
Right. What started that whole thing? Was it just
Mr.
something
Finney,
that you...
No, Mr. Finney asked me, when I first started to work for him, he said to me, you should write a column. And I said, oh, I'll try if you want me to. Okay. So I did, and it has grown.
Well, yes, it sure has.
Yes.
It's become well known in this
I know
area.
that people tell me that, and that they're very nice to tell me that.
And you sometimes you'll have recipes.
Once in a while, I'll put a recipe in of something that I think the people would enjoy.
Right.
And little hints about things.
Right. You talk about sometimes a birth or a marriage or something like that.
I do the social too, the weddings.
But you're also a reporter at times.
I cover different things. For this past weekend, I was up at Harris's Pelham Inn, where Hague School had a function. They were raising money for their playground, and Salem Cooperative Bank had a nice party. And I covered both of those. They will be appearing in the paper this week.
I wanted to see if I can pull it out here, an article from years ago, as a matter of fact, but I'm not too sure I can get it right away. I thought it would be quite interesting to pull out one from 1968, and let's see if I can find it. Hold on just for a minute here. A Chat with Elsie. How's that?
Yes.
This was January 3rd, 1968, and well, of course, this is a copy of the newspaper article, but I thought it was great. It mentions, did you see Victor Borger the other night? He was taking over for Johnny Carson, and one of the guests on his program was Margaret Truman. now, and I guess one of the questions that was asked is, do you think you'll ever see a woman as president? And I think the answer, I don't have it here, but I think the answer had something to do you remember that article?
No, I remember the article, but I don't know what I gave for an answer.
I guess the answer was, you have to be 35 years old to be president, and women don't like to admit that they're 35 years old.
That's right, that's probably what I said. And incidentally, I did interview Margaret Truman when she came to the Bushnell.
Did you?
In Hartford. Oh, yes, I also was there when Jackie Onassis christened, I think, the Nautilus down in Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
And I was at the governor's mansion when Lady Bird Johnson was there with Mrs. Ribicoff. I had breakfast with Mrs. Nixon.
Wow, great.
Pat Nixon, I interviewed her.
Mm-hmm. Did you get a long interview out of her?
Oh, yes, they're very gracious. All of them are very gracious.
Wow, that's great.
Mm-hmm. And when General Douglas MacArthur came through Hartford, they sent me there to cover that. It was just a whistle stop, but he stopped at the Hartford Railroad Station, and I was just there to cover it.
Right.
And I think one of the nicest things, I had always predicted that a girl in our city would make the Met.
Mm-hmm.
And I can remember my boss saying to me, well, she's good, but she's not that good. I said, she's going to make the Met. Well, they sent me to New York. She made the Met. I was there at the opening, the Metropolitan Opera.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
If you were to make a picture of the Salem community, how would you put it in words?
Kind, cooperative, and helpful.
Great, excellent.
That's the way they have treated me. I've been treated with respect all these years. I have some advertisers that when I run specials, I never have to call.
Right.
In fact, I have 18 that I don't have to call when I'm, if it's a blood drive, Boy Scout Week, or similar to that.
Right.
Very nice.
Oh, that's excellent.
Yeah.
Are there any differences between when you first started out and today?
Oh, of course. I mean, we're improving all the time from when we first started.
Mm-hmm.
First started, as you can see, it was just a tabloid size.
Right.
And then now that our paper has been purchased by the union leader, it has become larger.
Right.
Gone along with the change of times. Very nice.
How about the community? Now, there's been quite a few changes since you first started.
When I first came here,
paper,
Route 28 was, there wasn't practically any business on Route 28. I can remember Elridge Shoes down at the Salem Plaza with a little stand close to the road. And then they had, it was announced that Salem Plaza was going to be built, and all those stores came in, and it just went from one big store to another. And look at it today.
I know it has changed.
Yes, it has. It really has.
Do you think it's an improvement, or do you think that...
I don't mind.
You don't mind?
No, I don't mind. Of course, some people complain about the traffic, but I mean, where don't you have traffic? You just have to adjust your time of where you're going.
Right.
That's all.
And where are you going in the future?
I'm going to stay right at the Salem Observer as long as they will have me. I shall never retire. The word retire is not in my vocabulary. I don't think it's good.
Yeah.
I really don't. Because I enjoy people, and I really enjoy what I'm doing.
That's good.
So unless I get fired,
right,
or become ill that I can't, fulfill my obligations here or my duties.
Well, they certainly have been a big part of this community, and I want to thank you for taking the time to talk with us.
Well, I thank you for asking me.